Sounds familiar? So if your canister filter is making rattling sound, there might be several reasons why this is happening. And in this video, we'll try to figure out what's wrong with my canister filter and how we can fix that. There might be three reasons why your canister filter is rattling. First one is that there is some air trapped inside the filter. So it usually happens after maintenance, after you cleaned your canister filter, and it might have some air inside trapped. Usually you just need to wait for a while, maybe couple of hours, maybe even a day, until all the bubbles come out from your filter and it stops making this rattling sound. If the sound continues, then the problem is not with bubbles. The other reason could be that your impeller is damaged. It's really easy to damage your impeller. I mean, it's ceramic, so you can just slightly scratch it and you may not even notice that it's damaged. But it will be making this rattling sound because once it's moving inside this impeller shaft area, it will be hitting the shaft and it will be hitting the other parts, and because it's damaged, it will produce this kind of sound. Well, the other reason might be that your impeller just needs to be lubricated, so it needs to be covered with some sort of lubricant which will make it work smoother, which will make it work quieter. You would hardly know whether the reason is because impeller is broken or because it needs to be lubed with something. So the best way is to try to fix this problem by adding some lube to your impeller, and this is what we're going to do in this video. So I've opened my canister and I took out the impeller. On inspection, it doesn't look like an impeller is damaged. It looks perfectly fine to me. It has some small imperfection here, but as far as I remember, it used to be like that all the time, so I'm not sure if this is the reason of rattling. I suspect it's not, so I will cover the impeller with a loop. So I will use this silicone loop. It's quite neutral and, well, it's just made of silicone. It's safe to use in a fish tank. It has no chemicals in it. You can find something similar in your hardware store or something like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of it and I'm gonna lube the impeller with it, just to make it run smoother inside the impeller area. Like so. You don't need too much lube, just enough to cover it. I will put it inside. You have to hold it. If you let it go, because it has a magnet, it's just gonna jump inside and it can get damaged. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to lubricate the impeller shaft as well. I'm gonna take a bit of the loop. I'm going to get it covered. You don't need too much of lubricant, just a bit of it, just to make sure that it can fit back into your impeller. As you cover it with a lid, and then I'll put it back. So if you feel that it goes in smoothly, it doesn't get stuck, then you've done just the right amount of lubrication. Like so. So the canister is on, and let's check the sound. It still makes some sound. You can hear that there is some sound, but this is a normal Eheim Classic sound, so it doesn't rattle anymore. It doesn't rattle as much as it used to be when we started this video. So the problem seemed to be with impeller, and it had to be lubricated, which we did, and now it's working smooth and quiet, and you don't hear anymore any rattling sound. So in case if you have problems with rattling in your canister, it's not only the case with the Eheim filters, but it's pretty much the case with most other canister filters. You need to lubricate your impeller first of all. This is probably the main cause of the problem. If it doesn't help, you will have to replace your impeller. It means that your impeller is damaged and there is some tiny crack on it or something like that, so you need to order a new impeller. But only after you tried lubricating it and only after you realize that it doesn't work, then you actually can go ahead and buy a new impeller. Again, the other problem could be air trapped inside your canister, but that problem usually doesn't last too long, so you might have air trapped inside of your canister for maximum a day or two, but definitely it's gonna come out eventually. If you open it and if you close it again, there are chances that even more air will come out. Yeah, of course some of it can get in, but in any case, if there is air inside, it's not gonna rattle that loudly and that long as when there are problems with impeller. So the first thing to do is to lubricate your impeller and your impeller shaft. The second thing, if it doesn't work, to buy a new impeller. Hope this video was useful. Leave your comments in the comment section and see you in the next videos. Bye.